Alright, so growing up in Missouri, I thought that salad dressings were always white and creamy and came out of a bottle from the grocery store. So it totally rocked my world when I went to culinary school and learned how to make my own vinaigrettes. Alright, so at its most basic, a vinaigrette is an oil, an acid, and salt. So focusing on oils for a second, when you're buying olive oil, you want to make sure that you look for a dark glass bottle, and you want to look for the harvest date on the back. It should be no more than 2 years, ideally a year prior to wherever you are now. It's 2018 right now, so this was harvested in the fall of 2017, so that is great. Olive oil is not like wine, it does not get better with time, so use it or lose it. When it comes to acids, there's all different kinds of acids you can use. Starting with vinegars, there's white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, apple cider, rice, balsamic. Really just kind of depends on what's going to be in your dish. And then citrus is also the other kind of acid that you can have in your vinaigrette. So the most common being lemon juice, but you can totally do orange juice, lime juice, whatever's floating your boat. So there's all kinds of other ingredients that you can add to vinaigrettes to make them extra flavorful. Things like mustard and tahini are really nice because they help emulsify the vinaigrette. Obviously oil and acid do not want to mix, so these not only add flavor, but like I said, they add some nice creaminess and help the vinaigrette all come together. Then there's things like sweeteners, which help kind of tamper down the acid. So something like honey or maple syrup are my two favorites to use as sweeteners. And then the last key ingredient is salt. So salt is really important, and I feel like that's the piece that people often forget. It really helps tamper down the acid and heightens all the other flavors and is going to make your vinaigrette so delicious. So other ingredients that make your vinaigrette really special are aromatics like lemon zest or fresh chopped herbs. You can do minced garlic or even chive blossoms. So keep in mind that if you're going to use any of these aromatics, you want to add them to the vinaigrette about 10 or 15 minutes before you want to serve it, just to let all those flavors really melt together. Now I'm going to teach you how to make a really simple lemon vinaigrette where you don't have to measure a single thing. So first up, I'm just going to start with 1 lemon, and a trick to get some of the juice out is give it a nice little roll like this, and then cut it in half around the equator, and then I'm just going to juice it. It really makes a difference when you use fresh lemon juice. Do not use the bottled stuff. It is just not even the same animal. Okay, so now I've got my juice, and I'm going to just pour it into a mason jar. Okay. So when it comes to making a vinaigrette, the traditional ratio of oil to acid is 3 parts oil to 1 part acid. Though I personally like my dressings to be a little bit more acidic, and I find that other people have the same taste. So I usually do 2 parts oil to 1 part acid. So a great way to make a vinaigrette without having to measure anything is to just juice a lemon. And however much lemon juice I have, I'm just going to do twice as much olive oil. So go ahead and just kind of eyeball it until I have about twice as much olive oil as lemon juice. And then from here, I'm just going to add some of those other ingredients that I mentioned, a little bit of honey. I don't usually measure, I just kind of do a little squeeze, maybe somewhere between half a teaspoon and a teaspoon for this much dressing. Some Dijon mustard is nice, just like a little spoonful, again maybe a teaspoon or so. And then I'm going to do just a pinch of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And I love fresh garlic in my vinaigrette, so a secret that I have for mincing garlic is using a microplane. So just take your clove and kind of rub it across the microplane, and it'll probably stick to the bottom, but that's totally fine. Just give it a little tap. This is really strong garlic from my favorite farmer's market, so I'm only going to use about half a clove because it is very potent. These are beautiful chive blossoms. They have a really delicate, oniony, garlicky flavor. Pop those in. And now all I'm going to do is just put the lid on and shake, shake, shake. So the next thing I'm going to do is taste the vinaigrette. So what I like to think about is a triangle. You want to find a balance between sweet, salty, and sour. And so when you taste it, just think about that triangle, and if anything's out of balance, just make adjustments as needed. So you can use a spoon to taste it, or I like to just take a little piece of lettuce and kind of dip it in there. Might add a tiny bit more salt, but otherwise It's delicious. That fresh lemon juice just makes a world of a difference. We can give it one more little shake, and that puppy is ready to go. I like to make a jar of dressing like every Sunday, enough to last me for a few days. That way there's no excuse not to eat a big, beautiful salad. Speaking of which, I am gonna dig in with this nice dressing that I just made. So just pour a little bit on top. Bon appetit, y'all.
Here we go. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.